In this video I'm going to be making an Implant Anaolg model. Now to start off with, tilde key front, I've actually pre-aligned this to the center of Blender using the alignment folder over here. So it's very important to start off with. Next I'm going to hide the opposing model. Don't use H key because you're going to get into a terrible habit with H and Alt H to unhide. Rather just apply the filter over here and then select this little monitor to hide it more permanently. Now I'm going to just cut this section off here because later down the line it'll all make sense. So in the model designer I'm going to actually, you know what, we're first going to make a model out of it, I think. So to make a model we're going to go to the cut and I'll just show you. We're going to sculpt smooth a bit because when you look at this scan we've got these irregular geometry over here, and even when we want to come up with the arch cutting tool over here and across it, we want to smooth it down, okay, because otherwise it's not going to give us a nice model. And I'm going to come up with the arch cutting tool here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm preparing the surface to be cut. We don't always have to do it, but if the scan is rough like that, it makes perfect sense. It only takes 2 seconds to do. So with that, shift right click to place my cursor and then click on arch cut. Then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude that. So this one, or there's a shortcut, Alt Shift E. I'm just going to left click all the way along and put it down to the surface which I've prepared. So please do not come this way with your line. Don't do that. Always a gentle curve. Probably the highest point is most furthest away from the y-axis, and then from there you're going to come down gently with a gentle curve. Remember, when there are a lot of crevices, concavities and convexities, always place more vertices along the line. Okay, again a gentle curve and then following, going back to the other side of the y-axis, which is the front side. Okay, then we're going to click on fuse, click on trim, and then we're going to trim this model. Select the vertice of the mesh you want to keep, click on clean, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make a model base like that, upper model base. Now what I'll do is I'm going to cut the scan body off, and you'll see why I'm doing this, because we don't have another model to work with. This is our model that we're working with right to the end. So okay, look at it and shift right click to place my cursor. There are other methods to take this off as well. You can actually, you could paint this as well. We can take the vertex cutting tool, or we can think of it as a tooth as well, but I think because it's going in deep, we're just going to look at it from here, shift right click to place my cursor, go to the vertex cutting, G key, E key to extrude like that, and we're going to slice it, and then we're going to accept it. This is going to cut my scan body top off the model. Okay, now we want to keep this piece. Okay, I'm going to then just smooth the surface as well. Okay, so this is a piece. I actually used the G key by mistake, but this is what it looks like. and we're going to just hide that piece, and we're going to smooth this down like that. It's quite straightforward, everything, once you know how to do it. So this will make perfect sense down the line because we want to have a nice gingiva over here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the component module, and I'll just briefly look at this, and we're going to choose the scan body for it. Now this is an MIS. I think it's a CS series or C something. You can see there a little bit. So just verify that the parts are correct. This video is for demonstration only, so if it's wrong, please don't blame me for it. Make sure the parts are correct, but it looks like it's the correct part. Now unfortunately we don't have the scan analog replica for this MIS. We get what's given from the companies, and this one is not here. Now, but I need to make a model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hide this, and this one we're going to keep. And I'm going to look for a part. But before I look for a part, I'll just give this one a color. And you'll understand in a few minutes why I'm doing this. In the model designer, add color, and I'm going to give this a blue color, like that. Then I'm going to go back to the components module, and I'm going to look into the des abutments, and actually des scan bodies, and I'm going to go to the MISC series. You'll see their scan bodies look different, rightfully so, but I need to borrow a part here, and I've had a look at this part, but it doesn't seem correct. I think it's this part. Again, please verify that this is correct, because this is a video demonstration only. The scan body we don't need because we're using the authentic. X, delete. Now, I've got to double check this, because from one implant manufacturer to the other, the scan bodies and analogs, they're often misplaced. So I'm going to use the Alt B key, and I'm going to just look at a cross section from the top over here. So Alt B, and section the top like that, and then move it along this way. And I'm also going to just give this one a color, because it will give me a lot of insight to what is happening. So color is always very good for object management. Now let's have a quick look. In edit mode, we can see that this one it's right on top of the anti-rotation. Surely this one should be in this location, and it's not. And unfortunately, I wish there was a standard where we'd all be using the correct parts and all of the correct alignment. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you can see that we need to rotate this, and usually it is a 30 degree. So I'm going to go back to the component module down here. You can go RZ30, but I'm going to use this box over here, 30. Now again, I'm going to verify that. I'll just go into edit mode. You can see now that it's correct. The geometry, of course, is not 100% correct, and this is also depends on one company to the other as well. So, but I think this is exactly what we need. Tab to get out of it, and transparent off. We can actually see how these fit together now, and I'm going to leave it like that. Alt B to get out of it, and I'm going to save my file. So now we know that we have to ICP align this to this little part over here. But we need to understand that if you look at the vertices, we've got lots of vertices here, which is really good for ICP calculation. This one here is no good for ICP calculation because there are no vertices. Look, it's made up of faces. There's nothing to calculate. So this is another thing, is that we need a standard, which we don't have. So I'm going to go into the alignment module, and we're going to remesh this geometry. So you can use different mesh structures. If it's a closed mesh like this, I'm going to try and sharp remesh, and this is then what it looks like, and I'm going to apply that. So in edit mode, we've got lots of vertices to make a calculation. This is what we need. So in the alignment module, we're going to, actually in the component module, because we still have to parent these, remember? So we're just going to go into the analog, exactly like our videos show you, B key, like that, and we're going to parent. Now this one needs to be aligned to that one over here. You'll see that some of the vertices are out, but the majority are okay. So okay, this is going to be my moving object in the alignment module. So we can choose how we're going to line it, paint on method or the other method. Let's try the landmark method because there's a lot of faces and so on. Name moving, name destination, place landmarks. Now we want to place a landmark up here that it stops up and down movement. Let's place a landmark over here, which will then stop this movement. The actual scan body is really good shape. I must definitely congratulate MIS on the shape of their scan body. It's absolutely fantastic. And we're going to put another one over here. So I've got 5. Enter. Select this one. Place landmarks. Okay, now please get the landmarks correct. So 1, and then this one, that one, here 1, and over here 1. Now what that does, it selects an area underneath the landmark to then align it correctly. So tab, select both. Sorry, enter, then select both and perform initial alignment, and then perform ICP alignment. This is like really good, and you can hit this a few times if you want, but we have a good alignment over here. To check this alignment, I can just, with both of them being selected, we can see both of these. Now I've missed it, both of them. Make sure both of them are selected, and then color map, and that'll give me a good indication of how well aligned it is. And this is a new method. So if you click on this one over here on the right hand side, you can see the distances between these colors, but we got a really good alignment over here. Okay, we're going to exit, and I'm going to now make this model. It's very easily done. We're going to go back and view this model. Now we've hidden this model earlier, which is over here in the component module. This becomes our model that we want to make an analog model with. Also, before we start, just make sure that you've got enough space. Don't have this pop out underneath, because how are you going to print that? It's not a good idea. Here, select your model being cut, and that puts us into transparent mode. Select your scan body housing. This is a housing. It's called analog sleeve at this stage. Select it, and then we're going to go up, and down, down. And you'll see now why we've actually cut the scan body off earlier, because now we end up with a beautiful model, right? So we're going to apply cut and clean, and that should then create our model. Okay, let's have a quick look. I'll just hide this. You see, I'm not using the H key, I'm using this one instead. It's far better. So here we've got our analog inside of it. That line here is just a relationship line. It signifies that this one is still parented. So you can unparent it quite easily as well. Just select it and click on lock over here, and the parent falls away. It becomes unparented. So from here we can make our crown. If you like to have a video on how to make that, please let me know. But this is looking really good. Okay, hope this video helps. Goodbye.